reading of Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even for evermore.
Imagine that you are a Jewish pilgrim going up to the golden city of Jerusalem in order to worship at the temple. You might be on your own. You might be with a group of other pilgrims. Perhaps you sing as you climb the steep hillside, as much to keep your spirits up as to keep fear away. Fear of predators, both animal and human. There are robbers and bandits in the hills. It's one of the psalms called Psalms of Ascent, and some of the words used seem to relate specifically to the situation in which the pilgrims found themselves. For example, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved, quite possibly relates to the stony path which the pilgrims had to tread. It would be so easy to slip and fall. Then we have the surety that God, who watches over Israel, will also watch over the pilgrims and not fall asleep. And as the pilgrims make their tired way up towards Jerusalem, tormented by the relentless sun and fearful of the night, the psalmist writes that the Lord is their shade, that the sun will not harm them by day, and the Lord will keep them from all harm. He will watch over their lives. It's a most beautiful psalm, and must rank with the 23rd Psalm in its popularity and for the message of hope and comfort it brings. Yet it's more than just a quick fix to make us feel better. It doesn't offer superficial comfort. It offers a truth we can cling to, even when we get worries and anxieties. So often we live in fear. Do we live in fear because we might be looking for help in the wrong places? How often do we look to God as an afterthought, perhaps turning to him as a last resort? Perhaps we don't actually believe that God can help. We don't believe that he does have everything under control. Yet God is always watching over us. He doesn't grow tired or weary as we do. He's not busy doing something else as we are. A friend of mine recently told me that while she could believe in God, she couldn't believe that God would be in the slightest bit interested in her. That feeling is expressed very well by Eugene Patterson, an American minister, scholar and theologian, who wrote, "We know that God created the universe and has accomplished our eternal salvation, but we can't believe that he condescends to watch the soap opera of our daily trials and tribulations, so we purchase our own remedies for that. To ask him to deal with what troubles us each day is like asking a famous surgeon to put iodine on a scratch." In the ordinary moments of our lives, when we struggle to know what to do for the best, when we face difficult decisions, when we have to face grief or pain, or deal with the small everyday worries that wear us down, God is there with us, holding us, preserving us, watching over us. Life might not be easy, but trusting God means believing who he is and knowing that we are all held within God's love, all of us. As Jesus said, "Are not two sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs on your head are numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. So we can lift our eyes to the hills as the Pilgrims did and know that our help, whether in the big things or in the small, comes from the Lord. The psalm ends by stating that the Lord will preserve us from all evil. And in the Lord's Prayer, we ask that we should be kept from evil. That, of course, begs the question, does God really keep us from all evil? There are countless people in our own lives and throughout the world who haven't been kept from evil. Evil touches everything. Where, we might ask, is God in that? The problem of why God allows evil is a huge one and can't be answered easily. In fact, although we can speculate, I'm not sure we can answer it at all. It might, in fact, be one of the main reasons why many people can't believe in a loving, caring God. It might be something we ourselves question as we face what seem to be insurmountable mountains in our lives. It's been said by many eminent writers and philosophers over the year that if you love someone, you have to set them free. You have to let them go. Let's think about that for a moment. Just think about the love a parent has for their children. You watch them grow up, equip them for life as best you can, perhaps feel sad when you see them off on their first day at school, knowing that a step has been taken that can't be reversed. You have to allow them to go out into the world, to make their own mistakes, perhaps grow away from you. It might give you heartache and pain, but you can't keep them confined. That isn't love, that's control. God is love. He created us in His image. The love we have for one another, the love we have for our children, is the same as God's love for us. So when God created us, He gave us the priceless gift of freedom. Because He loves us, He has to let us go free. It's a risky thing to do. Of course it would be better if our lives were protected, insulated, and everything in the garden was lovely every day and all days of our lives. But then, would we be human, or would we be just mindless robots? We can't understand all that God is doing in the world, or why He works in the way He does. But knowing all this, we can choose, like the psalmist, to trust that God is loving and faithful. That doesn't mean that we'll never suffer. It does mean, however, that evil and suffering, danger and heartache won't have the final word. God does care about us, each one of us. And even in the middle of doubt, confusion, wrestling with pain, with grief, with injustice, with weariness, we can choose to lift our eyes, as the psalmist did, and look to God for help. We can choose to stop trying to resolve all our problems by ourselves and follow God in faith. We can choose to trust that He watches over us, keeps us, and guards us. We can believe that He is in control and that the death and resurrection of Jesus shows us that evil has already done the worst it can do, and it did not and will not triumph in the end. Amen.